Hello and welcome. This is James Blanchard Cisneros at your service. Today I'll be reading the December 20th Daily Inspirational Message. The condensed version is 2 paragraphs long. Then I'll send it myself, say a little prayer, and then make a couple comments on the message. And if you find the message of use, please be so kind as to like, comment, share, or even join us as a subscriber. Thank you for that. Here we go. The title: Awakening Changes Darkness into Light. Paragraph 1. We, those who walk in darkness, who judge others and ourselves for it, are now choosing to focus on the light within us all. Thanks to the gift of time, we can now look back and better understand the totality of our journey as a gift that it was, is, and will be. By looking back, we realize that the light, the choice to align with love, even in our darkest moments, had always been available to us. Now, with this knowledge in hand, when we look at our current challenges, we are comforted knowing that, in the end, everything will be all right. Now, we know that in any seeming dark or difficult time, the decision to choose and focus on the light is always available to us. Paragraph 2. Today, if dark thoughts appear before us, let us see them as part of our mind that remains asleep to its true nature. Let us recall that as children of the light, in every moment, the light is available to us. Then, aligned with the light, let us offer whatever of love's expressions the moment is requesting from us. Let us no longer doubt ourselves. We are all designed to bring light into the darkness. Now, when darkness tries to enter our light, let us not condemn the darkness, but instead see it as a simple call for help and healing. We are here to help our brothers and sisters heal so that they too may awaken to the light within. Today, through our example and by the way we treat and interact with them, let us help them recall the light within. Let us help them recall that this light is available to them even when they're finding it too hard to see. All right. Awakening changes darkness into light. Okay, today I would like to make 5 points that I trust will be useful to you. Point number 1. When you start to awaken, you start to develop a different relationship with the past. We no longer carry the past with guilt and shame and resentment and regret. Instead, we start to see, thanks to the gift of time, how useful the past was to bring us to this place of greater self-awareness and wisdom and knowledge. And so when we see that the past helped us get to this peaceful place, we start to offer gratitude to our past and see how useful our past was to help us become who we are today. So as you awaken, you start to see that more and start to let go of those thoughts of judgment and anger and resentment and pain, and instead be at peace and grateful to your past. Point number 2. When we start to see the past with gratitude and appreciation, we start to trust more in the divine design. As you awaken, you trust more in the divine design, that God has your back, because God, being perfection and love, has co-designed this journey you are now on with you. And so the more you awaken, the more you trust in that relationship, in that co-partnership of the journey you are now on. And you start to see, you know what? Maybe God does have my back. Things seem to be working out. And so as you awaken, that darkness of the way you see your relationship with Source, with the divine design, begins to shift to a more light-filled place, to a more of a companionship and guidance, and using God as a guide. So that's point number 2, is that your relationship with Source and with trusting in the divine design begins to be a bigger part of your life, and your questions and your doubts and your fears begin to lower. Okay, point number 3. Always remember, as we awaken, we start spending less and less time in the darkness. And so no matter how complex our story is, no matter how much the ego's past programming has taught us to judge and condemn and be resentful for our brothers and sisters, or even to ourselves, as the Course in Miracles would say in one of its lessons, peace is always just a choice away. I can choose peace instead of this. So no matter the complexity of the story, of the ego's drama, I can choose peace instead of this. When you remind yourself of that, you can come back to center. And as a light, as you awaken as the light instead of the darkness, you help guide your brothers and sisters back to the light of them. And so remember, no matter how challenging your time may be, instead of anxiousness and fear and doubt, you can say to yourself, I can choose peace instead of this. Because remember, you control your thoughts. Your thoughts should not be controlling you. Point number 4. Now, as you awaken, you start to use the darkness when it comes, because as human beings in this duality, or dualistic world, it will come, and that's okay. But you have a different relationship to it. So now when the darkness comes, you don't sink into it. Instead, you use it to practice the opposite of what it is recommending. And so when the darkness is recommending judgment or guilt or shame or resentment or regret, the light in you, the awakened self in you, offers forgiveness and compassion and healing and hope. And so if the darkness calls out for judgment, we offer peace. If the darkness calls out for condemnation, we instead align with the light in us and use compassion instead. When the darkness insists on fear and doubt, we instead align with the light within us and trust in Source, in the divine. And in doing so, we get peace. And so now, in point number 4, we're able to use the darkness, not to sink into it, but instead to use it to say, okay, I'll just do the opposite of what it's recommending. Because the darkness and the light is the opposite of the darkness. And so we just, whatever little games that darkness is playing, we just do the opposite, which aligns us with the light within us all. And point number 5 is we all have the light within us. And so when your brother and sister seem to be acting in a way that's less than loving in nature, let us simply realize that that's just a call for help and healing. That just means that they're asleep to their true nature. So we don't have to buy into that programming of judging our brothers and sisters because they're being less than perfect. Instead, we see that their behavior in love's light is just a call for help and healing. And so if somebody's calling out for help and healing, what would be the appropriate response? To help and heal, not to judge and condemn. And so in point number 5, that's what we want to recognize. When the darkness tries to creep into our minds and have us view our brothers and sisters through the darkness, through that dark lens, let's stop and remember that all they're doing in reality, if they're being unloving in nature, is calling out for help and healing. And our function as God's creation, as the light of the world, is to offer them that help and healing through our forgiveness, through our compassion, through our kindness, through our understanding and wisdom and knowledge. And so that's point number 5. Okay, those are the 5 points. I hope some of them are useful for you today. And please be so kind as to like, comment, or share. And if you find this useful, and maybe we can help our brothers awaken and start shifting from the darkness to the light in them, and thus achieving a more loving and peaceful and generous and charitable world that we all deserve. All right. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Take care.